We played the red door, yellow door game. Me and my two friends sat in silence as we watched a video explaining all the rules of this game, of the popular game we had seen all over social media. It seemed fairly simple. First off, you need one person to guide the game. The guide needs to sit cross-legged with a pillow or blanket between their legs, where the other person will lay their head on. The subject needs to lay down on the pillow and raise both their arms and close their eyes. It's very important for the subject to keep their eyes closed throughout the entire game. The guide will now begin massaging the subject's temples and start chanting red door, yellow door, any other color door. If the ritual is done right, after a few minutes the subject should start visualizing a hallway with doors. Once the subject is in the trance, they will lower their arms, meaning the game has begun. It is recommended to not make them stay in the trance for too long, so it's best to set a timer for 10 minutes. There really is no benefit of the game, so I don't know why anyone would try this. I certainly wish I hadn't. Who's going to be the subject? My two friends immediately crossed their arms around their chest to signal them not wanting it. I sighed as I knew I would have to be the subject, since I hadn't reacted fast enough. "I will be the guide," 𝐶𝐶 said, as she crossed her legs and put a pillow on top of them. I lowered my head between her legs and closed my eyes. Amy snickered and sat down next to 𝐶𝐶. Soon, 𝐶𝐶 started rubbing my temple and chanting, "Red door, yellow door, any other color door." I let myself relax as I laid there with my hands in the air. Red door, yellow door, any other color door. The exhaustion was visibly in her voice from having to repeat the same sentence many times. We all knew this ritual wasn't going to work, but we were dumb teens, home alone. After a few minutes, I started seeing all gray. I thought I had fallen asleep and started dreaming until I saw a faint outline of a door. I slowly lowered my hands as the door started to become more visible. "Not funny," 𝐶𝐶 said as she stopped chanting. It had always been me to fake things, so 𝐶𝐶 did not believe this whatsoever. "I'm not joking. Come on, ask me something." I assured her, but I could practically feel her rolling her eyes. "Fine. What do you see?" she asked with a sarcastic tone. I looked around the hallway that had one singular door at the end of it, a light blue door. "The walls are white, no kind of grayish white," I replied. There was silence for a few seconds before 𝐶𝐶 spoke. "Okay, walk towards the door and open it." I did as she said. "What do you see? How do you feel?" I looked around before replying. "It's the same hallway, just with 2 doors. I feel fine." She hummed in response. Put both of the doors and tell me how you feel about them." I walked towards both of the doors and looked at them. There was a red and dark green door before me. The rules said that it's best to avoid darker doors, but something wasn't right with the red door. There is one red and one dark green door. Before you say anything, the red door is stained with some black liquid, and there are scratch marks all over it. Okay, slowly enter the green door, but be careful." I opened the green door and looked around. I noticed something in the corner. There's a small trapdoor in the corner of the room. "Do you think you can fit?" 𝐶𝐶 asked, and I nodded. "All right, go truff it." I slowly walked towards the door and heard the door I just had walked truff slam shut behind me. I crouched down and opened the door, though I immediately slammed it shut. No, I can hear the ticking of clocks. Another rule of the game was to avoid clocks, since they can trap the player. "Okay then, if there aren't any more doors, go back to the red door and open it." I did as 𝐶𝐶 said and slowly opened the door, but I immediately sensed that something was off. "It's pitch black in here," I muttered. "You don't have any other choice. Just move quick," 𝐶𝐶 instructed. I stopped. "𝐶𝐶, wake me up," I said. Before me stood a man in a suit, grinning widely at me. I felt her hands shaking my shoulders. I started sprinting towards the door I entered from, but it had disappeared. The man slowly walked towards me, and I screamed. Suddenly my eyes shot open, and I saw my two friends looking at me with a worried look. I thought the game was over. But now I can see the man looking at me from the distance. Every day he's getting closer, and no one else can see him.
But me,